Everyone, this is Vaishali Siddhappa and welcome to my channel Complemental Economics, and today's concept, debt. And the question is, does public debt impose a burden? Please explain. This is one of the questions for 4 mark. Let's talk about the public debt. What is the meaning of public debt here? Public debt means when expenditure leads the revenue, when expenditure is greater than the revenue, the shortage of money what we are going to face. So in short, we can call it as deficit. The deficit, whenever we are going to face the gap between the expenditure and the receipts, to fill that gap, we need a debt. Debt, we can say it as a loan, borrowings, any other name. So whenever we have a shortage of money to spend on public expenditure in the economy for the sake of economic development, so we have to fill the gap between the receipts and the expenditure. What we do is we always borrow money. Whenever we are going to borrow money, there are 2 ways from where we can borrow, that is internal and external. Internal in the sense you can borrow money from RBI, so any private individuals, so from the public, anybody we can borrow. When it comes to external, you can borrow from any international organizations, any private individuals, we can borrow money. According to Professor Raja J. Chellaya, what he says is, he argued that India public debt, the debt Indian public, what the debt government is taking, the existent level is unsustainable right now. At the same time, public debt should be reduced substantially. So the debt what we are borrowing, every day it is mounting and mounting, it is increasing. Because of that, if you continue to borrow money the same way, definitely the fiscal system what we have, that is going to collapse. For that reason, it is really very much important that whatever debt we have, we are taking everyday debt, so much of debt which is mounting each and every year, we should reduce that. When the government goes on borrowing, continuously we are borrowing, every year we are preparing deficit budget, every year we are going with a deficit budget. Continuously if we are going with a deficit budget, we have a shortage of money we are showing in the budget. For that, continuously we are borrowing money. Goes on borrowing, debt accumulates, more and more debt is going to increase. In this case, and burden of interest rates, the interest rate, interest, it will be increasing. If you're taking more and more debt, that means interest rates, definitely it is going to increase. Then the government, we will have to impose more taxes. The people whom we have, we call it as a public, the normal people, on them we have to impose more of taxes. The tax on people are going to increase, because when debt is increasing, the interest rate is increasing, from where the money is going to get? The government, they need money to pay these all interest. So for that reason, what they are going to do is, they are going to impose more and more taxes on the people. This will reduce disposable income. What is disposable income? The disposable income, that means for this you have to go through the 2nd chapter of macroeconomics, national income accounting. Disposable income, that means whenever anybody get the income, personal income. In the personal income, for an example, I am going to get 1000 rupees. In that, I have to pay 20 rupees as a tax. The money which is left for me for the consumption sake, that is 980 rupees. After paying all the taxes, money which is left for me for my own consumption, that is called disposable income. The disposable income is going to decrease. Consumption of goods and services, it will be decreased. Because my income is decreasing, maximum taxes I am paying, because of that my saving ratio is going to come down. If my savings are going to come down, my income is going to be reduced, the national income is going to decrease. The way continuously it is going to happen, consequently the growth of economy will be retarded. Definitely growth is going to decrease. So therefore, debt will become a burden, liability on a future generation. Liability, that means one or the other day you have to pay back. The burden, definitely it's going to increase. Right now I am borrowing money, so who is going to pay off? The future generation. So this way, the money what I am borrowing as a debt, so it will become a burden at the same time it will become a liability. So for the future generation have to pay off all the income, all the whatever they're getting as a income, most probably they have to pay that for the debt. In this case, through public borrowing, the government transfer the burden of reduced consumption. Whenever public borrowing is happening, definitely the consumption is going to decrease. For whom it is going to decrease? For the future generation. As I told you, right now we have a shortage of money, we have a deficit budget, so we are borrowing a lot of money. So after borrowing, who is going to pay off this? That will be paid by the future generation. So when they're going to pay a lot of money for the debt, what we have done, so definitely their consumption is going to decrease. So this way the future generation, this is because of it borrows by issuing bonds to the people living at present. They'll people who are paying right now, the people who are there, by issuing them we are taking a bond. After that, when we have to pay off the bonds after 10-20 years, the new generation will come. So the younger generation, the new generation who is going to come, they are the one who just enter the workforce. Who are just entered the workforce, recently they have entered to the workforce, they are very much young, they have to pay this all money. So in this case, on them the tax will be increased, because whatever they are going to get as an income, maximum tax will be collected, because to repay today what the money we have borrowed, to pay that the future generation, the maximum of their income they're going to pay as a tax, who are very much younger. So these may live on a young population, they just entered the workforce, and because of this again their disposable income and their consumption, they both are going to be come down. In this case, the government borrowing from the people reduces. So in this way, what is going to happen is the saving will be decreasing. When continuously government is going to borrow money from the people, the government is going to borrow money from them. The money what the people are having, public is having, that will decrease. Because of that, the saving is going to decrease. If the saving is going to decrease, the saving what they're going to do with that, the private sector is going to invest. So in that case, the private sector, they do not have any money to invest. Even though they have money, that will be very less. Because of that, for the future, the capital formation, that means to purchase land, labor, capital, organization, to involve ourselves in the production activities, the money what we require, that will not happen. So that's called capital formation will be very less. Because of that, the growth is also going to decrease. And the last one, it is even so many people argued. So if you're going to do if you're going to take a loan, internal borrowing, if you're going to do, that's not going to affect much, because the argument says that the debt does not matter, because we owe it to ourselves. The money what transferred, it is between us. For an example, if I'm giving loan to you guys also belongs to India only. So if you are giving me loan, even I belong to India, so the purchasing power, it remains within the country, so it is not a big deal according to them. But in another case, if you're going to borrow money from other people, like it can be from the foreign individuals, it can be from the any institutions like World Bank, WTO, from anybody, if you're going to borrow money. In this case, if you're going to borrow from somebody else, we have to, for the loan what we have taken, for that most probably we have to pay, we have to export a lot of goods. At the same time, we have to pay a lot of interest, which will be transferred to some other country. So that means our country money is going to flow to some other countries, money going to flow to some other country. I don't think so it is a good idea. So few people continuously argued that if you're going to take money, if you're going to borrow money, try to do it within a country, but maximum time it is not possible within the economy. Borrowing that large amount to fill the gap of that deficit, it is not possible. So maximum time we are going to borrow from other countries, other institutions, other individuals, foreign individuals. Because of that, so because of this, we think I I individually think that continuously if you're going to borrow from other people, so definitely our country's maximum decision making will be in their hand. If the continuously we're going to borrow, so we have to listen to them. One or the other day we're going to become the same country, colonial country, like where the British people ruled us. The same way, the country which is going to give us a lot of money, they are the one in the future they're going to play a big role when it comes to Indian economy, any kind of a policies, any kind of a decision making. So it is always better, so preparing a balanced budget and not borrowing much money. So definitely whenever we're going to borrow money, so that's definitely a burden, not only to the present generation, more than the present generation, the future generation is going to face a lot of burden because of that. So because of that, reducing debt is really very important. So I hope you have understood why we have to reduce the debt. It is not for us, for the future generation also it is very much needed. At the same time, keeping our country, freedom country, individual country, so we don't want anybody to interrupt in our decisions, to make sure that borrowing from other country, it is not a good idea. So by concluding that, so if you're really liking my videos, please subscribe and share. Thank you so much.